Right now on the National Weather Desk, wild weather, blizzard warnings across the plains, tornadoes touching down in Texas, and an ice storm knocking out power across Maine. We'll show you where the threat for severe weather is today. Spring runoff, the dangers the spring runoff can bring to people living in the valleys of Utah.
Just about anywhere in the state have a potential for flooding.
We'll jump into potholes and see how the weather helps them form.
Water seeps in through the cracks in the road during the winter time.
Why warm spring air often means worsening air quality.
The only way to really clear all this out and get a fresh start is rain.
How next month's total solar eclipse could impact wildlife.
You might notice there being more mosquitoes out around the time of eclipse.
And did you know there was a lunar eclipse while you slept?
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
And a very good morning to you and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Brian Vandegraff. Winter is not going down without a fight, that's for sure. Blizzard warnings are posted through tomorrow in some portions of the plains as a powerful winter storm pounds the region. Take a look. This is what it looked like in Minneapolis, Minnesota last night. This morning, the snow is transitioning to a heavier rain, but not before a foot or more falls in some parts of Minnesota, especially north of the Twin Cities. And here's what Minneapolis looks like this morning. Low clouds are hovering across the city. The western edge of that system brought snow to Denver last night as well. And this morning, many roads are snow or ice covered for the morning rush. At least a dozen school districts in eastern Colorado are closed today. So let's take a look at the maps here. And if we look across the upper plains and upper Midwest, you can see blizzard warnings from North Platte to Sioux Falls. We've got winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories across that western section of the nation as the winter weather still has a grip on that portion of the country. Meanwhile, as we take our attention down to the south, that's where we have severe risk potential later today. In fact, there's an enhanced risk for severe weather across portions of Louisiana and Mississippi. You can see the timing into the afternoon, some strong storms with large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes, a possibility right into late tonight and overnight into early Tuesday. And speaking of that severe weather, the National Weather Service confirms a tornado did touch down on Sunday afternoon in the Texas Panhandle. A viewer sent this video of the twister to our station in Amarillo. A hospital in Perryton says the tornado caused damage to their building, but added all patients are safe and the ER and the clinic were not affected. There are no other reports of major damage from this system. The National Weather Service teams will be out today to survey that damage. Tornado warnings and watches were posted for much of the day in Oklahoma. Someone spotted this twister yesterday near the town of Terrell and Jefferson County, south of Oklahoma City. There are no confirmed reports of any damage or injuries. Well, winter is holding on tough in New England, where a double dose of heavy snow and ice is causing big problems across Maine. More than 100,000 homes and businesses are still without power this morning. Freezing rain coated trees like here in Kennebunk. The weight brought the trees down on the power lines. Not so good. Further north, more than a foot of snow fell, like here in Bangor. And up near Sugarloaf Ski Resort, nearly 2 feet of snow fell over the weekend, delighting skiers during what's been a less than great ski season across most of New England. But the focus today is restoring power as soon as possible. Asia Reed takes us to parts of the area that were hit hardest by the storm.
More than 100,000 Mainers lost power during Saturday night's ice storm. Sunday, folks are out surveying the damage. Tracy Hunt and her 2 dogs are checking out streets nearby her Portland home.
I didn't expect to see so many down trees and power lines.
John Breed, spokesperson for Central Maine Power, says heavy branches like this one falling on streets, cars, and power lines are slowing down crews from restoring power.
It could be an issue of safety for our crews and really just the general public as the ice begins to fall, as things begin to melt.
Breed says the hardest hit areas are from the New Hampshire border all the way up towards Belfast. More than 300 utility crews are out fixing power lines and cleaning roads, and they couldn't begin the bulk of the work until Sunday morning, leaving folks like Megan Farin and her son Boston still without power Sunday. They said a tree fell onto a power line right in front of their Topsom home and caught fire during the storm.
Line and the tree were kind of popping like fireworks. It was kind of neat, but also it's scary at the same time.
A similar sight on Craigie Street in Portland, a down line obstructing the road where Cheris Thompson and her pig Noda typically take their daily walk. They just moved here from Texas, and this weather comes as a shock.
This is our first winter, so for both of us. But I think we're adapting and doing okay.
Breed says they hope to restore power for all CMP customers by Tuesday.
That system brought heavy rain to the East Coast on Saturday, triggering flooding across portions of the Mid-Atlantic. Derek Waller is in New York City with a look at that damage.
In the Bronx, a section of the Mosholu Parkway swallowed up this SUV. Drivers stuck after their vehicle stalled. And on the Bronx River Parkway in Westchester, standing water brought traffic to a crawl. Heavy rain also overwhelmed sewers and sent several inches of water into the Renaissance, a workforce housing development still under construction in New Rochelle. Water soaked the entire first floor, including the community room and several apartments. And in nearby Pelham Manor, fire and utility crews were called to this home for reports of a gas leak, only to issue an evacuation order after they found a basement wall partially collapsed. But the fire chief says the situation could have been worse.
Everybody's concern is water, so, that's what we do. We usually see some localized street flooding. Some houses do receive water, nothing crazy, but today was thankfully, with the amount of rain we got, was not bad at all.
And that is some good perspective, because back here on Fifth Avenue, you see all this damage that was caused by that tree. But the good news, nobody lost their lives. Everyone is okay.
And flooding is expected to be a problem across Utah today. Warmer weather means the spring runoff will soon begin. Now, officials are getting ready for the water as it flows down the mountains and the dangers it could bring. Christian Sita has more.
It's that time of the year where Utahns get ready for hiking, fishing, and camping. But first, Mother Nature needs to thaw.
It doesn't seem like there's been a whole lot of snow.
The spring runfall is a period of time from April to July where bodies of water can overflow from snowmelt. According to the Utah Water Division, reservoirs are 80% full.
Keep your eye open for water rising.
But before the melting begins, Wade Matthews with the Utah Division of Emergency Management is preparing.
We're certainly hope that we don't see as much flooding as we did last year, for everyone's sake. We just encourage people to do what they can now to start preparing for potential spring flooding.
I would definitely take precaution, because you never know when that may happen.
At the moment, the state is above average for snowpack and water content.
Just about anywhere in the state have a potential for flooding.
Matthews recommends homeowners to check if their area is in a flood zone, and if so, prepare by coming up with an emergency plan, collecting sandbags, and considering flooding insurance.
I think it's still a little bit too early probably to identify that. And it depends, again, there's a lot of factors involved where how the snowpack level is, the water content of the snow, the temperatures, where the temperatures are rising faster or slower.
All right, well, it's a good bet you slept through this morning's penumbral lunar eclipse. It started at 12:53 this morning Eastern time and lasted nearly 5 hours. Now, this is when the Earth's shadow was visible on the lunar surface. It was tough to see with the naked eye, though. The eclipse was visible to everyone on the night side of the Earth, unlike the solar eclipse coming up in just 2 weeks. This eclipse also happened during the full moon, known as the warm moon. Well, let's talk about this. Take a look at some weather across cities across the nation today. And let's start along the Niagara River, just outside Buffalo, New York. It's been shaping up to be a nice day in western New York with mostly sunny skies, and get this, highs pushing near 60 degrees. Not too bad. Next, let's head to Roswell, New Mexico, home of the International UFO Museum. It'll be hard to see flying saucers today as skies will be cloudy. The mercury, though, once again, should be in the mid to upper 50s, not too shabby. And a look now at Clearwater, Florida. It'll be a nice day for the beach with a mix of sun and clouds, and highs very comfortably in the low and middle 80s. And take a look at this shot. This is from the beach of Chincoteague Island, Virginia. There is a coastal flood advisory out there today. Winds are a little bit gusty, could top near 40 miles per hour. But skies will be sunny, though, with highs right around that 50-degree mark. Beautiful blue skies out there. Coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll continue our countdown to the eclipse across America with a look at how pets and wildlife could be impacted by the big event. Plus, we'll explain while spring is often referred to as pothole season.
I'm meteorologist Ryan Munn. As we look at the Northeast through the daytime on Monday, we are going to see a lot of clouds associated with the storm system down to the south that is going to eventually move into the area. Now, we will see these clouds throughout the day on Monday into the day Tuesday. I also want to mention the chance for some showers, maybe some light freezing rain in parts of northern New England as we head through the daytime on Tuesday. Now, temperatures today will top out in the 40s for most.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Bailey. Here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. We're starting out all day Monday. I think we'll have lots of sunshine. Tuesday, we'll likely have some clouds starting to thicken up, and they may actually come in off the ocean, and we'll see them sticking around most of the day before we see our chances of rain going up on Wednesday. Temperatures tomorrow likely going to stop around the low to mid 50s, perhaps a few degrees cooler on Tuesday with the cloud cover. We could see them return back to the 50s on Wednesday.
I'm meteorologist Vetus Reed. Here's a look at your southeast forecast highs for the day. 66 degrees in Nashville, 64 in Raleigh, Charleston 65, Mobile at 73 degrees. Nice temperatures, warm in Tampa, 84 degrees, 77 West Palm as a warm front continues to extend over parts of Georgia and parts of Alabama. But our next weather maker is a front coming in from the west. It looks like it will give us chances for showers and thunderstorms across parts of the Tennessee Valley. Memphis getting some heavy thunderstorms tonight, as well as Jackson, Mississippi into Birmingham.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
Well, an invasive insect species is posing a serious threat to a popular kind of tree now in South Carolina. It's called the crepe myrtle bark scale, and as you might expect, its main diet consists of, well, crepe myrtle trees. As Joe Elvazquez reports, experts and arborists are spreading the word.
You see these white specks? Those are crepe myrtle bark scales.
It's not like most scale. A lot of scale are kind of hard to see, with your eye. They're really small. Not these at all.
Entomologist Dr. J.C. Chung says there's two ways these insects are harming crepe myrtle trees. The first is by sucking the nutrients out of the tree. The second is by excreting a sticky substance called honeydew, which eventually grows into this fungus called black sooty mold. This tree is covered in it.
The infestation also caused the bark of the tree to turn completely black, and the mulch underneath it, or the chair, or anything under the infested tree to turn completely black.
Crepe myrtle trees come from the same region as these bark scales and tend to be the primary target. However, Dr. Chong says they can feed off of other trees as well. Currently, infestations are limited in Horry and Georgetown counties, but he anticipates that to change soon.
We know that crepe myrtle bark scale, they will produce the little hatchlings, the little guys that hatch from the eggs. They are so small that wind can pick them up and blow them somewhere else.
Stevenson says the trees that are most at risk are the ones that are improperly planted, like this one, that is in a shadier area, as well as the ones that are improperly pruned, like this, which also makes a great spot for bark scales to lay their eggs.
Tree topping has always been bad. Crepe myrtle topping has always been bad. It's exceedingly bad now. It's a practice that needs to go away so that we can help our trees naturally resist this new pest.
We'll continue our countdown to the solar eclipse across America, now just 2 weeks away. And today we want to look at how the big event will impact wildlife and pets. Meteorologist Sarah Converse has a closer look on how animals could be affected and how you can track changes in their behavior.
The solar eclipse is almost here, and many people will be flocking to the path of totality. While we know the reaction from viewers, how will the animals react? The Division of Wildlife wants your help to document any behaviors from animals before, during, and after the solar eclipse through the iNaturalist app. Sarah Schott with the Division of Wildlife explains what residents might see from birds.
So we're interested to see, particularly when those fake dusk and dawn periods come, are those birds starting to sing more there and then they go quiet? And then they sing again, and then they maybe go out their regular daily activity in the afternoon.
Mammals.
Other things like maybe skunks or raccoons that are more often active at night might come out. So any of those nocturnal species for that really short window period of time might become active.
And even insects.
So the mosquitoes are going to start coming out, and we all do experience that as dusk or dawn is around, the mosquitoes get worse. So you might notice there being more mosquitoes out around the time of eclipse.
While the Division of Wildlife anticipates these behaviors from animals and insects, what can we expect from our pets?
Veterinarian Adam Parsons says pets don't purposely look at the sun. However, he recommends that if you see your pet getting anxious, to reassure them that they are safe.
Find a nice safe spot for them, then, make sure they're in a place where they feel safe and secure and cozy.
So no need to put solar eclipse glasses on your pet, but it could make a cute social media post. I'm Sarah Converse, reporting.
All right. Well, driving on roads recently, you might be noticing more potholes, and that's because spring is pothole season. But as meteorologist Bill Ray shows us, it takes more than one season for potholes to form.
So today we're talking potholes. Not a favorite subject of mine as far as what they cause, and after the winter time you tend to have quite a bit of that needs to be repaired. Now, water seeps in through the cracks in the road during the winter time, which collects underneath, and that softens the road. Now, once the water freezes, it expands and forces the pavement upward, as you might expect. But then from there, you're going to have traffic. And so when the roads get weakened, the traffic adds extra stress on that weakened pavement. Then we have, once drier weather arrives, and usually you will have a period of drier weather. It gives another chance for the water dissipating, leaving a hole under the pavement. The weight of the passing vehicles then cause the road surface to collapse into the hole. Now, we've all seen some of that final kind of thing. And so the weight of the passing vehicle is really what kind of does the final touches on potholes. So the pothole is formed where the road collapses. It's a continuous traffic is what causes it. It expands the hole with time until they can get out there and correct it.
Well, spring also means warmer temperatures, longer days, and budding plants, but spring can also mean poor air quality. Alabama meteorologist Evan Chikvara shows us why warm temperatures can lead to more polluted air.
Air quality, it's been a problem for several areas across the southeast the last couple of days, especially in the morning. 741, and where are we at? An unhealthy level in the atmosphere. Now, that'll typically improve as we go throughout the day. Here's why. We have what we call an inversion that takes place overnight. The warm air from the previous afternoon, that gets to the mid-levels of the atmosphere. What we're left with at the surface is the cooler air. Everything sinks to the surface. That's pollen. That's smoke. That's any pollution. That's all down to the air we breathe. You'll sometimes get a smog effect. We've seen that in a couple locations in the valleys the last couple of days, but that will really hurt our air quality. That's why our air quality is worse in the morning. Cool air, everything with it sinks down to the surface, and we tend to have those issues early on. If you have, and they measure this in parts per million, you'll see ppm under 100 parts per million is considered acceptable. Where we have been in several instances the last couple of days is in that unhealthy range where you have over 100 in the parts per million. When we talk about that, this is what we're looking specifically for. Ground level ozone, particle pollution. This has been the big one here the last couple of days. Of course, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen dioxide, things that happen, from cars, from we've had these controlled burns, these prescribed burns, all of that goes into the atmosphere, it comes down. And the only way to really clear all this out and get a fresh start is rain. We're going to see that. That'll help improve our air quality here moving forward. That's how it works.
Weather content or want to learn more about the weather, be sure to check us out on social media. We post the latest from our team of meteorologists all across the country. You can find us on all of your favorite social media platforms. Just search the National Weather Desk or scan the QR code on the bottom left corner of your screen. And now time for a short break, but first let's take flight over Burt Lake in Michigan.
Good Monday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buck-Michael. Look at all this snow that we're going to be getting from Kansas, Nebraska, into eastern South Dakota and Minnesota. But we've got some showers and thunderstorms out ahead of that where it's warmer. Now, as we continue into the day tomorrow, this all kind of lifts its way to the north and east. And then behind it, look how cold it's going to be in the Dakotas. High temperatures only in the 20s for the day tomorrow. As we get to your Wednesday, a little quieter weather for most of the Midwest with temperatures running close to normal.
Good Monday morning. I'm meteorologist Joe DiCarlo. Look at our forecast across the region and a powerful storm system moving through. We do have a severe weather threat today just near New Orleans into portions of eastern Louisiana, western Mississippi, and far southern Arkansas. All modes of severe weather will be possible. On the backside of this system, we do have a little bit of snow up towards the Texas Panhandle, and it is going to be windy across the region for your Monday. As we head into your Tuesday, quieting down, lots of sunshine and comfortable temperatures.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Rebecca Stevenson. Here's what's happening across the West. We've got a new weather system moving in that's going to cool temperatures down for the Pacific Northwest and abnormally cold for as we get toward Montana. That's where we're going to get quite a bit of snow coming down in the mountains. Otherwise, the next weather maker will be a frontal system increasing rain towards the Pacific Northwest, high mountain snow across Arizona, Nevada, and Utah. That's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
Well, we've been talking a lot about the upcoming eclipse on April 8th, and as we get closer, we can't stress enough the importance of proper eyewear. Here's a recent TikTok from meteorologist Katie Morgan showing you how to make sure you have the best eye protection.
So you want to look on the back of your glasses here, and you're looking for this symbol right here, ISO. It is also accompanied by a number right next to it. It is ISO 12312-2. That is a certification, or at least a symbol to let you know that these are approved for use to safely view the solar eclipse. You can also go to the NASA website that will give you a list of vendors that are approved by NASA that you know then that they are safe to use as well. So make sure you check your glasses if you have them already to ensure that they are safe to use when viewing the total solar eclipse happening April 8th. Happy viewing.
Now, if you're not able to get the proper eyewear for the eclipse, we have a video posted on our TikTok account with some other ways you can safely get a view. We'll be back with more after this. And we thank you for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Brian Vandegraff. Make it a great Monday, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow.